because Gambia, every young person, especially male person, when you are born, you grow with football, either at one point or to the other. They've all been really either observers or actors in football at different levels based on our age and our position. We know it's the Gambia Football Federation was founded in 1952, and since then, so many, it passed through so many great hands.
So GFF or GFA went through a lot of ups and downs here and there. The one that I can talk about most would be when Gabisose came. It was a little bit of transformation, especially the secretarial level. Omar C, I would say, had done a great job in terms of making sure that the administration, he himself was a football administrator. He was a CAF executive member, he was a member of a FIFA committee, nearly became the president of CAF, in fact. So having that background, I think, he was able, and it was during his time also we hosted the U17 and won it in the Gambia here. After Omar C, Sidi Kinte came. When Sidi Kinte came, he came in, I think, around December. But I know that during his time as well, they won U17, they won U20, that is AFCON, and they went to World Cup. And after Sidi Kinte, then we got into that where the ups and downs got into normalization. And I think it was during that normalization, the change of name you mentioned happened during that time. From the GFA to the GFF, the structures also changed. For the first time in a WAFU tournament, WAFU used to be like America Cabra. Gambia won in Liberia, and we brought the cup from Liberia. Even though we won the CAF at the AFCON level, but this is the WAFU level. That is the first time. That was in 2018. 2019, Gambia again, this U20, that was our U20, they went bronze medal, in Guinea. So in 2020, they did history again. They beat Senegal in Senegal and won the trophy. For the first time in our history for Gambia to win in Senegal and brought the trophy. The core mandate of the Gambia Football Federation is to develop and promote football. Of course, they are involved in also national team, but national team naturally are also, primary responsibility of government, but it's government more of government responsibility, because national team everywhere represents the nation, whereas the GFF is to ensure that it serves the member association, member clubs. I manage the finances of the Football Federation. So more or less, I'm the corporate head of the Football Federation, whereas the president is the policy, the governance part of the Football Federation.
The challenges were numerous. They were numerous because, first of all, we need the administration, that is secretariat, to be able to implement our policies and programs. And the staff number was very minimal. Officers were here without the requisite tools to work with, computers, the Wi-Fi was a non-starter. Ambitious and brilliant our policies and programs are. If we didn't have the tools or the wherewithal to implement them, it will be zero. And we cannot do it. We only make policies and programs. But this office, from the General Secretary to the last person, they are the one who should be armed, should be prepared to implement those. So that has been the biggest challenge.
We are really behind as far as football infrastructure is concerned. And you cannot do football without a standard infrastructure. Then you are completely disadvantaged. Secondly, if you look at the elements that make for football, football is done by certain special groups, football clubs. All our clubs are amateur, they are fragmented, they are not organized, they are weak financially, and more importantly, the attitude of the people that runs football is seen as a pastime, but not a real life thing, a business per se, because football changes lives. So our clubs are weak, and the other players, like the coaches, if you look at the number of footballers in the country, regardless of our amateur status, there was a complete mismatch between the number of trained personnel, coaches, administrators, referees, and medics that prepare, because it takes a lot of effort to take 11 men to come onto the pitch and they become winners. This one of the biggest problems of the GFF is funding, because we are an amateur league. We do not have any sponsorship. And we have products that are good, but by our experience, because of two things, the overall country economic situation, the macroeconomic situation has been very difficult. We all know for the last 22 years what we've come from. And now actually COVID has actually come in. Advertisement in this country is not very big.
kër ga ma la doon jaayloo kër ga jar na
xam ne démb rek barki démb rek am na ku ma kool di ma laaj ndax jar na am de
waaw yow wutal ma client wutal la client xam naa client jaay naa ko kay wax dëgg yàlla sant yàlla la ba mbëri nag
waa jox ma suma wàll
junne ba ma xamee noonu jël ko
balaa nga may junne nag
waaw
da ngay fay bor ba pare
man dama xameel kenn bor
amee loo kenn bor
mukk kan la amee bor
xamuloo kër googu ñuy wax jiyaare waaw
dama koy dégg
fi ñuy fayee taxi yeeg yooyu fi ñuy fayee naamu
dama koy dégg rek
mu ngoog dafa am nag ci biir taxi yi lu ñuy ooyee capital gains tax
muy capital gains tax
waaw kay capital gains tax boobu yow moom war nga koo fay fi mu nekk nii
man ma jaay kër ga xanaa ka ma ko jaayee koy fay kay
mu ngoog xam nga kan moo ko war a fay bu fekkee da nga am empty land boo xam ne yaa ko moomal sa bopp boo ko jaayee moo xam nu xaalis ba toll da nga cee war a génnee tax fay ko jaaree
dama ciy génne taxi
fay ko
muy bi maanaam li ma ko jaayee laay dank yëpp ñëw jox leen jaaree jël leen
déedéet doo ko defee noonu waaye dafa am pourcentage buñ ciy jël dafa des nag ci xaalis bi ni mu toll ñu génnee ci mun ngaa fay sax 5% wala 15%.
ma naa fay juróom
waaw
wala fukk ak juróom
waaw kay bu fekkee yow kenn la waaye bu fekkee compagnie moo ko jaay
waaw
moo xam kër gi empty land la
waaw
wala dafa am taax ci biir
waaw
bu fekkee compagnie ko jaay mun naa fay 10% wala sax 25%.
ma fay ji fukk wala fukk ak juróom
waaw bu fekkee compagnie
noonu la
loolu mooy capital gains tax te nag du laan rek ak yeneen yi mel ni moom yëpp te xam nga loolu fay ko li tax mu am solo dafay dimbale réew mi gis nga agriculture bi
waaw
njàngum xale yi
waaw
tali bi hospital bi yooyu yëpp dafa bokk ci loo xam ne government bi daf koo war a def nga gis ci sa bopp yow
léegi bi maanaam fu mu ne nii may waxee yow fii laa defee bërit dootuma jaar kër ga de nii laay jaar dem jaar yi
yéen ñii di ma seetaan ak man mii di wax ak yéen daw leen gaaw ngeen fay seen capital gains tax ci makaani jaaree bu leen gën a jege ndax loolu mooy doole réew mi
Over the years, the GFF has increased the trained personnel in football, like I said before, the coaches, administration, referees, and medics, more than, in some cases, 2,000%. We have developed our own D license. We are working with CAF and FIFA on the C license, and then we on the B license for coaches, and there are even plans to do the A license, not only in the Greater Banjul area, but across the country.
The star players are all homegrown. This is why, as I said, we improved the league. For the league, our standard has really rising up. And also, as I said, the base has been broadened in terms of decentralization. You go to North Bank today, they have a full-fledged league, male and female. You go to URR, you go to CRR, they have their leagues that really every day make sure that this period, they have a calendar. we play the league and complete it. And also trying to improve the football grounds, because very important. If you look at LRR now, with the artificial pitch there, now LRR, they have two teams in the second division, male, and also have a female team in the female league. So you can see it's increasing the player because of the turf, the facility that's there. Playing on that pitch day in and out is different from playing on a sandy pitch or just a bare sand. It's quite different. You can imagine. Look at the turf that was put in Brikama. Brikama has been a football community. But if you look at the revolution that they brought football in Brikama, look at the Brikama United, the Bombardas and others, look at the Fortune, based in Farad, but Brikama is their home ground. They played the Navetan there until they rose. Now they are leading the league table because of what is available on the ground. And this really is very important. So, as I said, we are also into development aspect. We have schools and youth football. As I mentioned about the school football, thanks to COVID 2020, we couldn't do it, but it used to be one of the highlights of our activities, annual activities. And also, after that, you have what we call the jamborees that we organize for the youth, the young people, to encourage them and to play football, and also to allow the scouts or the coaches also to scout the potential talents, bring them together and develop. And then we also have this holiday camp. We have the School of Excellence at the Technical Training Center. That also, as I said, except for last year we couldn't do it because of COVID. We bring, at the end of this tournament, bring good talents, 40 boys, 40 girls, put them together for a week or so, expose them to modern techniques, then compete among themselves. And from there, the clubs also pick them. So grassroots football is very, very key. Gambia is one of the countries that we have endless talents of football, endless talent. A white man told me, he's a coach, a Spaniard guy, he told me, President, Gambia is among the few countries that a boy or girl is born with a talent or skill to play football. All he or she needs is to be developed and molded. We have what we call the Technical and Development Committee. This is composed of people who have the knowledge in football management, technical side of it, who also will preside over those potential candidates, review their credentials, and also call them for interviews until they arrive at conclusion and make their recommendation based on option 1, 2, 3, and quite often that normally is based on the financial package that each of them will be asking.
Hassan, for us, is one of the key players we look up to as far as approaching matches are concerned. Recently, the coach have been largely criticized, for leaving a few other strikers, who are doing very good in their clubs in Europe. But I think we always need to understand that football is dictated by the tactical approach of the coach. I think the coach really deserves to be there, because what the federation is trying to do is to get to AFCON, but also the World Cup is another target for us. So we couldn't just come and say, okay, we've qualified for AFCON 2021 and that's it. So coach go, another coach comes. Because one thing I've learned as far as being an administrator is concerned is the issue of continuity. It's a key aspect in terms of trying to achieve. Football needs stability. So if you have a coach who employs a tactic that is giving you results, why change?
As the head coach also, he doesn't have the absolute authority to determine who should be part of his team, but he can recommend, he can advise, and quite often we go by his because when you want somebody to deliver, you must give the person the wherewithal to be able to work with the tools that he thinks will make him succeed.
Both the federation and the government have all been so cohesive in this direction. They've always answered to our calls. So if you have a charter plane, for example, gather all the players from Brussels down to Banjul, so play the game. The aeroplane is still waiting. We just put the departure dates there, and then eventually we fly at our own discretion. So yeah, that is what makes it look easy, but in advance as a manager you have to work months before. For me it's like, it's gonna happen just the next week, and in reality it's just 3, 4, 5 months.
And one thing we are able to achieve is also, with as much as possible, that we don't owe them the allowance, the bonds that they are due unnecessarily for a long period of time. It could only be delayed due to logistical or other issues, but we did everything possible that their motivation really, we don't play with that. And we also improve on the conditions, the facilities, the hotels that we put them, both locally and internationally. You'll be surprised. We put our players, government players, in a Pullman hotel in Kinshasa. That's not a small thing. And if you go to Gabon, you go to anywhere. And in the Gambia here, they got one of the best hotels, that's the S03 Hotel. Before they were going to other hotels, but I said things have changed. Because these are professionals. These boys, almost 99% of them are playing professional. And they are with their colleagues who also belong to other national teams. And they exchange notes. So you can understand sometimes how they also will feel if they are seen by colleagues to be. We all have. I've been through that. I was ambassador. During discussions, when my colleagues were discussing about our pay, I will triple or quadruple what I earn to be able to tell them this is what I earn. Why that's not the reality, but because that's naturally just the nature of our capacity in terms of as a country. So we are able to manage with the players, and then one thing after the other, we improve on the conditions, to give them the best conditions that we could afford, and they always appreciate within our means to make sure that their motivation really, we don't joke with that, and we can really transcended to until recently with the close collaboration with the government. We are able to convince the government because of COVID, traveling has not been easy, especially air travels. The schedules are not reliable. They could change at any time. And a country that depends on, say, 99% plus players who come from outside, if you want to depend on the current regular or commercial schedules, you may have a last-minute disappointment in terms of the movement of players. So we sold this to the government, and really the Honorable Minister, Bakari Baje, really reported immediately and shared it with his colleagues in cabinet and the president himself, and they approved it, and hence the provision of the charter flight for our match in Gabon and Banjul. The flight took them to Gabon and Banjul and back to Brussels. And the last match also for the match in Banjul, Kinshasa, and then back. So these are things that really, even countries that are much more endowed than us, they don't do, but it has paid dividends. It really brought a lot of stability and comfort and confidence in the dressing room. We really challenge the players also to do their best, and hence the good results that we had recently. So basically, these are the things that we are confronted with, and one of our famous adage was restructuring and rebranding. We became at one time we've been mocked by it. The opponents, they are always rebranding and restructuring. We haven't seen anything, no results. People became impatient because football, like any other sports game, the fans don't have time. They don't have patience. They just want results. So whatever we are doing in the background, they don't care. The coach will select his 11, and then the fans will not agree with him. While he's the one who knows them, he's training with them. But he knows who can play where. But if you say no, we are all fans at one point. And the referee will rule because of the rules that he himself is the one, is the custodian. We, the fans, will say no, this is not right thing. So that's football. So there are a lot of impatience in terms of from this fan side. And some of the detractors, the political opponents, were also using that as a mockery, rebranding, restructure. But we had a vision, we had an objective, we know where we want to go, and we set a roadmap for ourselves. As I said, the manifesto was later metamorphosized into a strategy development plan. We set targets for ourselves, and we with resilience and the sense of purpose and direction, we close our eyes and we didn't listen to the unnecessary distractions or critics, and we concentrated on that. We didn't take any fast track measure. We knew it will come. It may be late. In the first 4 years will not be easy, but at the end of the first 4 years, I think the fans, the stakeholders begin to realize where we are going, and I think they started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and they didn't have any hesitation to renew our mandate. It was a landslide. And when we started, we've seen what's happening in the development of the game, both at the international level. Those are the national teams of all categories, not only senior. For the first time in the Gambia also we are registered, we are classified, we are ranked rather in the FIFA ranking for women's football. That has never happened. We are one of the top clubs, national teams for women on the continent. And we are very admirable position when it comes to youth football also. So these are things that really we work towards over time. We organize so many friendly and test matches to prepare our teams. The story of the 20 and others also are there. During the year, there is a calendar that FIFA, which is the world governing body, has the ultimate authority in terms of managing global football. As we adhere to RIP, we are a member of it. We must comply with the constitutional statute. So the calendar will determine the number of dates in a particular month. Like in March, normally March, June, we have August, September, and October, November, depending on what they would say. Maybe you say say March, 10-day period from the 1st to the 10th. This is a FIFA window. So this is the time that clubs are mandated or they are obliged to release a player to their national team. So this is the only time you have to see how you manage, how you bring them together to train before the competition. Because all this happens in the same period. If you don't have any competition with that period, in that period you can call them, bring them together. That's why you have the friendly matches and test matches so that you can develop their cohesion. But if the federation or a member association, like any other country would, the federation cannot be able to keep their team because it's dynamic, it's developmental, and they have stages that they pass. And as a body, we could not be able to do that because what's available to them, some of them as professionals in England or in Germany or in France, we may not be able to have. And the more they go out and play, the more they are developed, the more they are exposed to other facilities.
And for the first time in the history of the Gambia, during our administration, women football was able to make it to the FIFA World Rankings for the first time ever. Women football is even higher than male football in the Gambia, which we've been doing since 70 years ago. Our plan is to have a sustainable development. So we want to go to the next AFCON and to the next AFCON and to the next AFCON, going to perpetuity. We want to go to the World Cup. We want to win even AFCON. It's possible. Any nation can do it.
Koran, ado.
Sorry.
Koran.
Sumon.
Ina mure. Ne korda wa. Ne profit sori. Inyente na la yele na mo jojang.
Yeah.
Ana na mo profit nyim. Kemo ne tan ni lulu nyanda wala jola jiare jang.
Ila keno me mula keno ya wa fe na mo jo fana kun.
Hako.
Mbo mo la.
Ade me mo la de.
Ha.
Dare de man reja.
Musa ala keno la korda la wafi. Ala korda la wafi aka wala foyo ko anata wala jojang capital game tax to jang. Anata wala jojang. De kemi wo kemi si latang ani lulu. Ayanta wala jola.
Ila profit.
Momo ni alongo ika korda la wafi. Wala korda lo mbandi ngo ka wala wafi. Ite nyanta nyin capital game tax jola jiare le.
Compagnie.
Ni atala dum fanan ibe compagnie le kono. Compagnie ye siyasa do je wala ye mandin kol ka fa mu ye ko niyo be je la compagnie nyin kono. So ite nyanta munekela se kemi wo kemi si latang ala fanna do bi je bo la jola. Ala fanna do bije kemo keme sidu lamuang ani lulu ibo la jola adi bo jola min dola wala mo nyin capital game tax to diare nyanta jola wala ko fe mana ne jarta ken ya bundal ne karamol ni ku katol be ka bo nyin namolo ko aku jama ba ma ka bo nyin namolo ko
Amanda wala bakari nanyen stilo le ni ti nyata ana mo ka kata jele
Mbajule ko mbajule jende malam bang fo mun to.
Gambia
da
da
hondu bi ajolo mun to.
diare la office be dawo da ni refutata je e ko nata capital game tax le jo damo nata wala jo ibajola
abara ko nyalo bi abara ka maraw
Yalo,
ni da
yo
ko
ko nyamu ko mal.
yo bisala okay abaraka
Mi na sala fe mbajule.
yo bisala
Abara.
yo musa bito badi molu al signil lonko bankudi wo bankudi ni atare ikata bankudi tuwe manke bankudi tuwo adi ka kenolo wafi wale ka kordala wafi ni ya wafi mun kuma ta je wala ta jare la capital game taxi to yeta yete la namojo.
I would also like to appeal to the general public for the level of cooperation and support since inception, the government and the federation, that we must try to improve every time, because there is always room for improvement. There is no complete team in the world. If we see this shirt that we wear as a team and we hear the anthem blowing, you know, we are ready to die for our country, irrespective of where the destination. We would always fight to uphold the flag of this nation going high every time.
Involving in football and sports is a physical exercise. They get even more healthier. Again, saving for the state. And when they get to the professional level, they send money here. It's foreign exchange earning for the state. So if you look at the benefit of sports, especially football, that is a mass sport here, is great. And I'm not even talking about the help that they give to their families. We all know how Gambia is like. It's an interdependent culture or society. So it can change people's life quickly. The corporate body should also come and support and help. That way, their business will be exposed, but also they will be contributing to national development.
Gambia's qualification, what Tom Senfed and his boys did to break history by taking Gambia to AFCON, is dedicated to all of them. And those who are deceased and passed, may Allah have mercy on their souls. And those who are around, we are praying that may Allah leave them to continue with us until we make our maiden appearance in Cameroon in January 2022, so that at least the dream can be more a reality. Thank you very much.
My name is Kajali Ba, Dr. Kajali. I'm a doctor working in EFSTH. Currently, I'm at the polyclinic. This is my second shot I've taken for COVID vaccine. So as we all know, this is a global pandemic affecting everyone from at all ages. And then we have seen increasing number of deaths. Still now, many people have not believed in it. And it's really a cause of concern. Currently, there are people here at polyclinic taking their second shots. It's available now.
maa ngi tudd Abdoulaye Diallo di liggéey Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs. tey moom dama fi ñëwoon pour jël suma second dose of AstraZeneca. Actually bu ma jëlee suma first dose bi moom aw ma woon benn symptoms at all. ne ne am na ñeneen ñi jot nañoo am tuuti symptoms rek waaye xam nga péngu bi tam noonu la mel because nit ñi seen immune system bi daf di react differently. So because of lulu, so moo tax it ñeneen ñi dañ dee xaw a caalit daal waaye it is important pour ku nekk ñëw am sa second dose su fekkee ne AstraZeneca bi nga jël mbite Chinese Sinopharm bi nga jël. Dafa important because dafa help pour strengthen sa immune system bi mooy manaka sa cells yoo xam ne ñu ngi sa biir yaram bi nga xam ne saa yu jàngoro bi duggee si yow rek du la mun a soodal o xëj na sax du la affect at all. soo leen xoolee xale yi ak mag yi yëpp ñu ngi ñëw di jël seen dose yi.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Binta Jeng. I'm currently at the polyclinic. I'm taking my second jab of COVID-19 vaccine, which is the AstraZeneca. And I'm encouraging every Gambian out there to come take the vaccine. I mean, Corona is deadly and it's causing a lot of havoc. And I think this is the only way you can protect yourself and also your family and loved ones. Please come out and take the vaccine. It's for your own good, for the safety of your family and those that live around you. Thank you.
assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Min calmini on ko vaccine baɗete biyaɗo vaccine aji biyaɗi ɗi eyyi neɗɗo kam tawde al ilmu indallahi Allah kam ko kanko andi ko ɓe kaala ko tawde noon neɗɗo kam so a ñawiyama sa sellani ya safro kadi safaraji ɗi ɓe gaddi eyyi ko ñakku ngo ɓe kalata ngo ñakku AstraZeneca o minen min mbaɗino mbo gira woni lebbi ɗiɗi joni ko ɗimmo o bon ponno o wat ko on min garanno nde wonno ko mankunoɗo ko hande o heeɓi ɓe téléphone ɓe kalani kam ɓeɗo polyclinique Banjul ɗo.
ndetto mo lamin jammerati nata polyclinique Banjul jambi ko kala na seconde dose o ñinta même covid vaccine o ñinti même fula gamen koli ani banko be ko vaccine o ñi asodra sign ko go ñata fintala kana kata because niata ifon la kaylo an banko la kaylo so be mo ba duwal mo be ko besna aliata absa banko kanne momo yanko ya force resultat we du man seconde resultat ake ala anin kila ifana na yata isi banko dema yefan dema. Thank you very much.
I'm 22 years old, and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Mr. Gambia. A little bit about my background. From a child age, I went to Glory Baptist, and then I finished to Glory Baptist International School. But ever since I was a kid, I was always nurtured by my father to love the environment. That's the main reason why I even went for Project Mr. Gambia. To show Gambians that our environment has a role to play for us, and if we take good care of it, it will give us money. The thing about Gambia is, people think that the environment does not matter. I can litter it anyhow. But as an entrepreneur, I see the environment as an avenue for me to make money. Not only making money, but protecting it and saving the universe or the earth at large. I work as an agricultural extension agent. I've been working with women in the farms. So I see the things that they go through. So it's very hard. Because when you talk about the country's soil, agricultural-wise, Gambia's soil is degraded. So we find it hard to use it for agricultural purposes. So as an entrepreneur, I came up with the idea of Project Mr. Gambia, which is a climate change adaptation mechanism. At the same time, it focuses on skincare and food. So the skincare are all 100% organic and natural. I use these plants from the environment, like the moringa and you name it, the baobab, to create lotions and soaps that are so good for your skin. At the same time, it won't pose any threat on the environment. I'm trying to show girls that you could look good. You could study agriculture. Yes, sometimes it's very hard because you will be messy here and there, but at the same time, you could use it to make yourself look beautiful. I also focus on catering, like I make ebe. And most of my ingredients come from these gardens that I work in. The cassava, the pepper, the everything that I use for my cosmetics and for my ebe comes from these women. And what I do most is trying to give them the awareness of Project Mr. Gambia. Even the mode of agriculture that they do, normally we use chemicals, but I show them botanicals. Botanicals are from the plants that we use. And you could put it in the soil and make it fertile as the same as a chemical would do to the soil. So most of these women say, wow, I never knew that we could use this to make our agricultural products wide. And some girls would be like, I don't believe you use this smelly herb and turn it into a skincare that I could use for my face, and it's effective. At the same time, I'm making money. The environment is being protected. So that is Project Mr. Gambia in a nutshell. But my motivation comes from my father, because ever since we were young, he always nurtured us to love ourselves. But not only love yourself, but the environment is important to you as a human being. So you cannot go without it. A lot of women girls like my age do mock me for my profession, because they say, maybe, Mariam, you're bright. Why agriculture? Why agricultural science? They think it's easy to do. You just go put a hole and throw a seed in it. Whereby it's different. What I've learned, there's a lot of science, and agriculture cannot only be based on the food that we eat. Oh yes, I go to the market and buy tomatoes, that's it. But agriculture can open a whole new avenue for saving the environment only, and for cosmetics. And they're all natural, and you could save the universe at the same time, help yourself look beautiful. It's a 50-50 kind of thing. So this is Project Mr. Gambia, and this is what I do. The COVID-19 has affected a lot of people. But for me, in my profession, it didn't affect me much, because I'm an extension worker. Be it under the rain, be it under the sun. Sometimes it's so rainy and everybody's at home. I have to go and meet my female farmers. If I don't help them, it will become very difficult for them, because the farm is where they get their ends meet from. So during COVID-19, although it's dangerous, for agricultural extension workers, we've been working throughout, be it in Basse, be it in all over the country. Being a woman in agriculture too it's a bit petty, because it's a place whereby a lot of men are. But being a female extension worker is very rewarding, because you see these old women praying, saying that it's COVID-19, but yet you are coming to help us out. So the COVID-19 didn't disturb me much, as long as I have my protective gear, that is my hand sanitizers, my mask, and we keep social distance between ourselves, then it's fine. The only problem that I would have is my cosmetics, selling them, because normally I used to do delivery, from door-to-door delivery. It was a bit hard there. And plus, being in the cosmetic industry, especially organic cosmetics, Gambians fail to understand the beauty of organic cosmetics. They believe if I don't touch a cream that makes me look lighter, it's a problem. I'm not beautiful. But when it comes to organic cosmetics, it gives you the healthy skin and you feel good, because I know I'm using a product that won't hurt anybody, that won't hurt the environment that I live in, and it makes you feel proud of who you are. So it was a problem for me, because not a lot of women tend to buy the organic cosmetics. They rather go buy a product in the market that would destroy their skin and later on throw the products or the residue of the products on the soil, and that would destroy the soil, such as plastic. Everything I use is recyclable. You could use the cream, at the same time the pot that I put it in is biodegradable and is recyclable, so you could recycle it over and over again. At the same time, it's business. So the COVID has been hard on me a lot, because most of the packaging material too are expensive. I don't get them because of the COVID-19. My advice to other women is, no matter what, don't give up. At the start, it's always rough. People would laugh at you for the things you do. Like me, when I ventured into agriculture, when I take pictures in my bed, they would laugh at me and tell me, you are worth better than this. But it's my passion, it's my dream. This is what I want to do. And the best thing you have to do is try to be focused. No matter what, you can't have everybody can't like your product, or not everybody can like you, but you have to be assertive as an entrepreneur. You have to make sure that you keep an open mind. Know that this is my product, but not everybody would like it. Try to understand that. Don't impose your product on other people. I know changing is hard, but always try to adapt by keeping your principles intact as well. You have to keep your principles intact. Don't give up. Starting is always hard, but keep on going with the momentum and don't feel shy. You have people whereby you share the same business with. Go look for mentors. Let them help you and study and research on what you have to do, but never, ever, ever give up. Never give up.
tomu karambal tomu karambale ti mbota gunjurde kombo gunjur te wuluta wala to be do ko la jan national audit office telum je auditor general ntolla do ko jang mun tol mu kisi la leti konti bolado tol wala mun na do ko ti ka konti obu nie atondi nie safaro dila yalo na prete safaro dila ikana tolle ke konti bo ka jube foya ka nyamale tollo lam do ko tol be lo ring banko leja banko jama ka tandila ko masakunda ila namol min tani ye julol min donto ila tola ani ye sorol min ko dol min soto ila tola ka je ko masakunda ya marakule yake safarol to mi ya lonko ila député ol d'accord sa wala mu kesi sir la minte ninga kesi kilo ken ka report wala saf ka je ko na kesi mo nyinne di nyinne keta nyinne manke na di tolle ba jube le ñom den kala wo muy tolle par ni la député le ñomo ba jela ko wo reportol nim moy kuriya keje abi jele tolle ba to botola nim moy ku kende keje abi jele anin ku kendol mi yalon ko nyanta normal pour que banko samba nyaato je wol fanam be bi jele o député le bo tol ma ko la no kawol kanyin atondi comme nin ko public office mo ma fo komi mobe kanano tamana jambari la député so forcé no wo kana tamana jawo sambo sule ka ku nyinin kan tol bulunga ko sa loi ko na consuno ko National Assembly c'est do ko di no national c'est que la ko andi nene ka dilen atondi ka do ko di na national wato mo nyin National Assembly do man do ko na bar wato National Assembly tan do ko do ko di na ke nganna report on di ya no o ka kelani andu hadama mol fana ko nga boxer so jan so gesso ni mo ya mira kuriya be ke kan durado le to be tama kan tol malo safaro ke don hani me to keje ya ken na fengo nin tol ben na planning nan ka wo kaytol jube wol kono le na bulandin na plan wol kono ngata wol la jube nga fuko so o kan tol ma ko mo bi ka because la dol to ni man tara ko kono te ibi ka lo ise ke nyaawo nya majik ten tol bul nga kaytol le no na man sabe kaytol to lu gaji o ni tol ka kaytol le no ma fo nga ko fon na man sabe kayto do mo fulol be anu hani kayto fo ni mol be min be wo kayto do ko le bebe ku kilin aka ko le abakel pour ka an ko ko wajel na to so to ka fu mi ni inclusion o ket e ka do lu ga ko do bi ka ba timi le fen jamal le tol be la ngalo ne ko ka kele Ep13 la nyami ni as audit wol bi jede baraka ko le abakel so public la participation ni audit ni nga wo harmonize no nga formalize no abi audit fa na fala bakel mba jube kan nyaato sini nyaato ni nga laake mba jube la be public engage la nyami bari ma fo as individual do pour organiser civil society organisation mi alon ko ni public ni jamaa ka do ko ke ba be wala engage la ka jube c'est la conscience il comprendre de na audit plan ko.
Fish landing sites are associated with small-scale marine and inland fisheries. They provide a location for first point of sale for products and provide a place where fishermen can leave their boats and obtain supplies such as food, fuel, and ice. We have different fish landing sites in the Gambia, and the most famous would be Tangi, Bakau, and Banjo. The list goes on. Our main point of focus today is with Banjo. The Banjo fish landing site has been there for a very long time and is famously known as Tefes by the locals. The fisheries sector in the Gambia is the second most important economic sector after agriculture. Almost every household depends on fish. Accordingly, it has now been turned to a dump site.
My name is Mike. I'm a Mesa. Oh, this environment is a problem for us.
Settle lan war def settle. Aga bo dege settle. Manam tefes dafa war nit ñi dal war manko. Bu nu manko rek moy waral ni muy demé. Fokk mu am ñuko war di balé.
Ñun fi wa Banjul lay. Ñun xamuñ fen lu muy bicc. Amuñ bantaba amuñ feneen fii lañ dee toog yaa ngi gis te dañ bugg a lu ñu dimbale fii di set.
waaye nag su soobee yàlla man dinaa nekk soo ne fii dinaa ko defar mu neex nit mu naxari nit man dinaa ko defar.
We cannot solve the problem because sometimes you talk to them, they will say that you are a foreigner. But that way they say you're a foreigner, sometimes it's pain me because we are the foreigners in this land. We don't know the place we from. We know the place we are going. But you use your money to clean the place and somebody come and dump. That's be in the Tefes. If you go to Tenje, Bakau, all of that place, that place is clean. The Banjul Tefes is not clean at all, I'm telling you, my sister. Somebody can throw rubbish from the market, come and throw it. If you talk, you say you are a foreigner, go away.
léegi suñ tati pere bi dafa bokk si tati pere yi gën a tilim si àdduna si te before bij bi was clean waaye léegi yaa ngi gis ne bij bi amatul contrôle yaa ngi gis liñ laa woon seetal rek tilim bi nit fu nekk laa jógee ñëw tuur soo waxee bu bëgg a koo def coow te ñun ñoo fi dee toog dañ doon ñaan kansul bi ñu dimbale ñu saaka pexe fii at least ñun bi ñoo gën a nekk xaleel bij bi dafa setoon ay gis nga at least ñu ñëw employé fii few brothers sax bàyyi leen fi.
mooy ne fii ni mel jaaduwul te tefesi yëpp soo demee tefesi Bakaw waa Bakaw yaa ko yore soo demee tefesi Gunjur fu nekk waa foofu ko yore waa Banjul yi suñ tefes bi lu tax ñun mënuñ koo yore dem nañ wax nañ lu nekk gars yi mënuñ ñoo dimbale ci benn jumtuwaay pour ñu defar fii léegi ni ñoo mën a def moo ñu ni ñoo ñaan moo ñu dimbale ñu si jumtuwaay yoo xam ne dinañ ko mën a liggéeyee parce que fii ay borom métier ay borom xam-xam rek a fi nekk ñii fii nga gis fii yëpp ñii ñëpp ay borom métier lañ waaye xam nga apprenti ponkal tamit neexut a dundal soo da ngaa gis ne fii ñun ñi fi nekk li ñoo ñaan mooy ne géej gi ñun moom lañ yaakaar fi mu nekk nii te si géej gi la ñoo liggéeyee waaye gis nga fii ni moo tilimee ah ku forta mbali ci marché bi iti ko fii.
While others ignore the toilets to ease themselves.
I cannot talk anything about it because authority will come. If he come, the help we have, we also will support them to the Banjul Tefes to be clean. Banjul Tefes is not be clean at all. They have toilets. They make toilet, new toilets in the market. New toilets, nice one. If ties, everything nice. Only $1 they should pay. They no pay.
Dolu kanala dolu bukana. Dolu fo ni na ni ko dalasi ya kamfa. Paranda buko muda fe nenda kamada ko nyumu pour place folet. Nta sitara no jiwi sama do taraje woto ni nyanta kala domandi fon si ñoo fa xam no. So bar kamo ñim problème te jabe seniaring. Fon bebe je na bo suñu le ka fon be ne ko o modi ne ko fon dina ka kamo ko ka sen ka je de mol ka tammi ka da badal. E ka da sumula la je ka da kamo genta dun te fen fono lo don tamam sembo soto. Nde sembo soto na kamo to na no ta ngaku. Nga seniandi nim menate dala so jedu nin dala so te mari fa nambul fana ni ndanen ke so le yedu.
So wanag yi amna yuñ liggéey machallah set nan waaye liggéeykat yi nekk ci wanag bi tamit dañ war di góorgóorlu di dem di ut ceen sax di ñëw di teg because léegoo-léeg da ngay dee sa xaalis sax $10 wala 5 dem ñu ne amuñ ceen waaw léegoo-léeg nga saaraan noonu rek dem si biij bi xam nga wanag waaye foo njëkk a daje rek tuur ndox loolu tamit du yoon so seben nekk na loo xam ne nii xam nga suñ ko utalee place bu ñoo dem di sebene war nañ respecté loolu di fa dem di seben because saw ci mbedd sax loolu nekkul respect first of all waaye tamit ñiy liggéey si wanag yi nañ góorgóorlu bi ko wanag bi daf dee teel a tëj surtout ñun événement bi nii sonn nañ trop bala duñ dee am fu ñuy sebene bij lañ dee dem wala ñuy dem laaxu ci maraaji ñu tuur ndox xam nga
yalla baajala dala skili ni nen cemo na de ko moy cemo di mu la ko moy dala so bondo dala falingo do soto no lo ko ta falingo ci do nde hani nen dala si mo na raje bo be bulu ko falingo nga fo ne falingo tam la DCC le yalo birin jawara jamano lam ñen kamo lo do bar birin ruhinata aya didaku aya ko
no tra nak ñi ngi liggéey wanag yu bari liggéey nañ leen amna wanag yu tëjoon sax lu yaaga gaay liggéeyar nañ leen ubbi leen amna yu wanag yu defar tëj leen nañ leen ibbi nit ñi di ci dem ndax wanag nit mënut a ñàkk am wanag every day dama koy faral di wax ne wanag ak waañ ak tuurukaay mbalit loolu ak nit yi ñoo dëkka mënut a ñàkk foog ñu am fu ñoo tuur mbalit ñu am wanag mbalit yi nañ ut ñu ko dee buub ñun tey yëpp dañ bale fii waaye amuñ buubkat gars yi léegoo lañ ñoo bale ñu dajale mbalit bi nañ ut ñuy ñëw di buub mbalit yi waaw soo ko balee ba mu set tamit dajale ko benn place amuñ ku ko buub loolu amuñ njëriñ gars yi nañ ci jàpp mbalit yi lu ci gën a bëri buubkat daf dee ñëw su ñëwut ñun dañ dee fay ku ñu buubal mu dem tuuri ko syndicat loolu lañ dee def mbalit yi bëri nañ fi léegoo la gars yi su ñëwut buub balekat bi su ko dajalee fii daf dee tasaaroo ñun ñoo ko dee buub ñu fay puus mu dem tuural ñu ko.
There is hope at the end of the day, as the fishermen themselves do the cleaning sometimes.
Mbuusi de gis nga nee nañu interdit nañ ko mais bu ñu koy interdit wul si bitig bi moom du ko gis fii foog fan koy jaay rek nañ ko mën interdit mbuus moom pour nga interdit ko foog fan koy jaay rek nga ko mën interdit parce que nit ñaa ngi noo ngi koy jënd ba tey noo ngi naan interdit mais nit ñi noo ngi jënd mbuus ba tey.
Sometimes I went there to report, but if you report to them, they say they will come. They don't come. If you like, see their runs some. You can see their run. Photo if they see their runs, how their runs is going. It's not good. That's my problem here. Or if your authority can come here and take action, that is good. I'm telling you. Tutetefe should be clean. Because the place you get your daily bread every day to eat, that place should be clean. But people is not mine. And the market people, that's the problem. The women are cooking in the market. They come and jump the rubbish here. If you talk, they say you are foreigner, no talk. That's the problem here.
loolu rek ay problème bi du dara ñun jaama rek lañ fi dee am soo gisee ñuy bàyyi suñ kër yi di ñëw taati pere ñun waa Banjul lañ taati pere lañ xam picc géej boori géej dañ nit rek ñu cleanal ñu fii ñu deelu comme olden colonial days ni bij bi meloon.
isi mbalit te doole mun a aaye ko ci aaye tumaay coow mun isi ko coow waaye te tamit ñun ñi nga xam ne ay góor lañ te nekk ay Gambien yu baax loo fi isi si mbalit ñu dajale ko waaw ci ñaan kansul bi nag saa yu ñu dimbalee ñu liggéey ko loolu moom moo gën a jaadu parce que ñun ñëpp Gambien lañ ñun ay waa Banjul lañ te waa Banjul waru ta caaxaanee Banjul soo gisee ñun ñu ko seetaan nii munuñ ci dara ñàkk a pexe la rek waaye Banjul war sa mel nii tefesi Banjul da nga war a ñëw taxaw tefesi Banjul kontaan te loolu lañ fi xamoon sa jamono soo su demee ba léegi mu melee nii dañoo ñaan nguur mu jàppati tamit jàppale waa Banjul yi niñ jàppale dëkk bi tamit ñu jàppale ko noonu waa tefes bi utal ñu jumtuwaay ñun tamit ñu liggéey suñu liggéey xam ne ñoo liggéey fii gisal fii ba mu ses tanki moto yi nga gis nii xeer yi nga gis nii sa jamono ñun ñoo ko fi def saraxule yi ñoo ma joxoon contrat bi ma def fil yi yëpp tanki moto yi yëpp ak xeer yi ba léegi maa ngi fii ni ko noon fii lekku na ba léegi ñu ngi seetaan lii ñu ñeneen a ngi ñëw tumaay ta di génne xeer yi every time ma xuloo ci tax ci affaire yi xeer yi ndax loolu yoon la soo nañ ñu jéem a dimbale si loo xam ne nii dinañ mun a clean fii yëpp su ko nekkee site bu nekk ñu jox ko nit mu garde ko.
But the big question is, what else is being done about it?